If there is any nation on earth that is currently in dire need of restoration, it is Nigeria. And God will not leave his throne in heaven to restore the country even though he rules in the affairs of men. Rather, God will prefer to use a man to accomplish the task. The man whom God will use to restore Nigeria must be like Moses. In other words, he must have the anointing of a deliverer, and he must have what it takes to confront the Yanezes and Jambreses. Coupled with this, he must carry the grace of Nehemiah such that after he has succeeded in drowning Pharaoh and his host of chariots in the Red Sea, he will begin to rebuild the nation. You will notice that I mentioned deliverance before nation building, for it is important that the former comes before the latter. To put it in a different way, it will amount to a waste of time if Nigerians do not experience a mind revolution first before any serious commitment is made towards nation building. A mind shift is a sine qua non for the sustainability of a new nation. What shall it profit a new Nigeria if her affairs are going to be run by same old rebellious people who have refused to seize the promised land from the Anakites since 1960? Is that generation not supposed to perish in the wilderness? Yes. They don't deserve to enter the rest of God. They are stiff-necked people, ever lusting after the cumber and the wheat and barley in Egypt. Who is Pastor Sunday Adelaja? Amidst the corruption, poverty, hopelessness, confusion, chaos and lawlessness that have crippled Nigeria, some extraordinary Nigerians in the diaspora have gone on to distinguish themselves in all areas of human endeavor. Among these priceless jewels is Sunday Adelaja, the senior pastor of Embassy of God, the largest church in Europe and Ukraine. Sunday Adelaja, who is from Idamila, Ogun State, left Nigeria in 1986 after he won a scholarship to study in the now crumbled USSR. Being a hostile environment that had no place for God, it was hard to practice any form of conventional religion openly, and those who professed to be Christians had to make their activities underground for fear that the authorities might clamp down on them. It was in this unlikely environment that God raised Sunday Adelaja. Upon the end of Pastor Sunday Adelaja's wilderness experience in Belarus, one would have thought that he would have been immediately deployed to Nigeria to help solve the problems that have kept her stagnant since independence. No way, there was a big task waiting for him in Ukraine, which at the time was stricken by the consequences of communism that had just collapsed not too long. Out of nothing, Pastor Sunday Adelaja was able to empower thousands of Ukrainians, who in turn went on to influence their country positively. In fact, the Orange Revolution of 2003 that marked the end of the old order in Ukraine would not have been possible, if he had not on 2 occasions led thousands of his church members to protest against the authorities. Added to this, while the revolution was ongoing, his church gave moral support to the aggrieved protesters who were bent on reclaiming the stolen mandate of Viktor Yushchenko. As a matter of fact, it will be difficult to write the modern history of Ukraine without mentioning Sunday Adelaja because of his timeless contributions. Why Pastor Sunday Adelaja must come back to Nigeria before 2023 is it not a paradox for Nigeria that is currently trapped in poverty and underdevelopment to have a proven deliverer and nation builder like Pastor Sunday Adelaja in Ukraine? I mean, how can we have a resourceful son, Sunday Adelaja, who did what no black man, even the revered Martin Luther King Jr., Harriet Tubman and Frederick Douglass did not come close to his achievement as ever done before in history in the diaspora, and leave the arduous task of nation building to bigots and nepotistic elements? No wonder Nigeria has continued to endure a cycle of failure as well as alternate between confusion and hopelessness. If Nigeria will be delivered from darkness to light, then Pastor Sunday Adelaja must come back to the country. In short, he must come back before 2023 so that he can help reform the minds of Nigerians just as he did in Ukraine before they elect Buhari's successor. Apparently, most of the Nigerian electorates have a problem with their mindset given how they have continually do things the same way and expecting a different result. Put simply, before every election, Nigerians usually have the opportunity to choose outside the two evils that are foisted on them, but unfortunately, they keep sticking with the idea of choosing the lesser evil and without any outstanding result to show for it. Beyond poverty, I dare say that it has something to do with the mentality of the people, especially when the practice itself is woven together with the political culture. This is exactly why Pastor Sunday Adelaja must come back to Nigeria to help shift the people's socio-political thinking from immediate gratification to a long-term benefit. Of course, no one says Sunday Adelaja will immediately fix the country, but a steadfast application of the nation-building strategy that changed Ukraine from a communist relic can transform Nigeria. What Nigerians stand to benefit in the long run. If there is any generation that has been worst hit by Nigeria, it is the generation of the 1990s. The children of this era were born into a country that had lost its direction. They met collapsed institutions, and they inherited decayed infrastructures. Their growth was stunted and their worldview was corrupted side by side with the value system. Many who could not survive the negative impact that the system had on them turned out to be bad adults who do not want to take responsibility for Nigeria. Worse still, the generation before the 1990s is a crooked generation. That generation hardly has any fear of God. The fusion of the two generations was a disaster that aggravated the problem created by the Founding Fathers. It also produced the cursed and myopic political culture that has no serious desire for change. If Nigeria will change, the mindset and the attitude of the two generations towards nation building must change. Beyond the scam or mantra of change begins with you, we must bring Pastor Sunday Adelaja to replicate what he did in Ukraine. And if Nigerians will cooperate with him, they will have a new country that can boast of good roads, constant electricity, good public schools, little or no corruption, law and order, and above all, peace and unity. Nigerians can longer wait for a Messiah that no prophecy spoke about to build Nigeria. God has already raised Pastor Sunday Adelaja. Therefore, it will be wise if those who are still hopeful that Nigeria will be great in their lifetime, send out emissaries to convince him to come back home. Otherwise, Nigeria may have to keep waiting and journeying around the wilderness until another deliverer rises. Written by Ibitoye Olukosi, who is a content and creative writer for Kwenu. He is a pen lover who enjoys writing outside the box. He believes that writing can be a veritable tool of social transformation if writers can think creatively a century ahead of their society.